Hey, it's Jody Taylor of SnackySays.com. Welcome back to my podcast. Today I'm talking about my why or your why we should have a why. If you are doing something like you need to finish a big project or you have like a goal that you want to reach, having a why, and you've probably heard this a million billion times, so I'm just adding to it. Having a why is important because as we reach for our goals, as our visions become, I want to say manifest. I don't know why I want to use that word. As our visions become reality, it gets tough sometimes. It just does. Like, that's a part of, unfortunately, part of the process. Like, of course, my wish for you, my wish for myself is that all our dreams come true, all our goals come to fruition. In my experience, it just doesn't seem to come easy. So what do you do to keep going, to stay focused? Then it comes back to your why. Like, I have been working out. This happens probably more, I was going to say more than you might guess, but depending on how well you know me, you may or may not be surprised. But I'll often ask myself, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I out here walking? I don't feel like walking. Why am I doing this workout? I don't want to do this. And then I remember because of my why. Like, I have a big reason, As usual, I'm going to use fitness as an example. And my point is, have a why, be willing to make some adjustments to that why, maybe. I found that I've had to make some adjustments. And then to also, well, I'll speak for myself. I've come to realize that my why has levels. So I'm going to use fitness, of course, again, as an example. For a long time, I said, well, the end game here, if you're into the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, you get that. The end game here is for me to be shaking my bum bum on somebody's dance floor when I'm 108, right? There's a lot that has to happen between now and then. So, like, what are my whys like in the next 10 years? What are my whys like this week? So let's get into it. So my why, I'm going to use my why example from when I decided to lose 30 pounds a few months ago. And I actually think I wrote this like 3 months into the journey. It took me 23 weeks total. Sure, why not? Let's round that up to 24 weeks, which is 6 months. And so my whys. Number one, this is not necessarily in order of importance, but how I thought of them and then wrote them down. Number one, because I can. Number two, to see what my body and soul and mind feels like when I'm eating, moving, and doing my day-to-day best. Number three, to discover my true weight point. You might know this as set point. That is simply just, if in case you don't know, the weight range that your body feels most comfortable at. That will boomerang back to that weight, no matter if you lose weight or gain weight. And there are ways to actually change your set point. I feel like I'm always talking about Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, but he talks about this in his book, Feel Great, Lose Weight. You can also find information on YouTube and the internet. Number four, processed foods are not food. And in case you never listened to a podcast episode before or read a newsletter, you may or may not know I have cut down tremendously on processed foods and incorporated more whole foods and one ingredient foods like bananas, apples, things that are just minimally not processed at all or minimally processed. It's so easy to forget, for me to forget, which is why it's written down here. Processed foods aren't actually food. And number five, my good genes have taken me this far. That doesn't mean they're bad genes. It's just a hat tip to my parents. If I'm more intentional about eating, what might I accomplish? So those were my 5 whys. And it really helped me. It helped me, again, this is written down, it's written down in my fitness journal, and it's on a page by itself. So I would turn to it periodically and look at it, like revisit, like, why am I doing this? Oh, these are the 5 reasons why I'm doing this. So these were the reasons why I was going through a certain routine at a certain time to lose weight. So I'm now on a journey to maintain that weight. So far, so good. I'm within 2 pounds of my goal weight. And we'll see if I go back down another 2 pounds. But I think it's reasonable to say that I've maintained a 30-pound weight loss for the last few weeks. The real test will be like, obviously 5 years from now, but we'll just take it one day at a time. So this really helped me. And I think it'll help you too if you have a goal that you haven't met, or you keep keep starting and stopping, or you're just like me and sometimes you're like, why am I doing this again? What was I thinking? You can go back to your why. Like sometimes we say, or I'll speak for myself because I have a habit of saying we, as my twin brother would say, you got a mouse in your pocket? What's this we stuff? But I have a habit of starting something and then kind of losing sight. Like, why am I starting this? Or saying like, oh, this is my priority. And I say something is my priority, but my actions don't match that. I'll give you an example. For years, I have been saying, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this out loud, but for all of the working out I do, after all of these years, I still cannot do standard push-ups. I'm still doing knee push-ups. And if you look in my fitness journal, luckily I don't keep my fitness journals because then I'd have to show you pictures, proof of years of me saying like, this is it. My goal by such and such a date is to do standard push-ups. And it is actually one of my goals for July 22 for my fitness anniversary. And I don't know, every month, every week, every day, it gets pushed off. I just keep doing the modified version, or I do a version with resistant loop bands, which is just like, you put your hands out and then pull it back. That's like a in the ear version of it, but is it a push-up? No. So what's up with that? Like, I gotta make it a priority and figure out like, why do I want to reach this goal? What is my why? What is going to help me stick to it? On that note, real quick, I love a challenge. I love plenty of challenges, and sometimes they just don't stick, but that's something I'm going to work on, and hopefully I'll be able to come back and be like, yeah, I finally did it. I think I can technically do 1, maybe 2. I still remember a couple of years ago, I knocked out 2 back to back and I was over the moon, and then I never did it again. And they were hand release push-ups, standard push-ups, but the hand release version. Okay, so this has been, because I hear a helicopter coming, or like, no, I think that's an airplane, a small one. This has been just a little chat about your why, and how it can help you be focused. So to sum it all up, think about why you are taking on a project or a goal, write it down, and then if possible, look at it every day, or at least have it someplace where you can see it. Like I have mine written down in my fitness journal. It may be better for you if you put it up in your kitchen or a bedroom or like your bathroom mirror, because then it's top of mind and it does become a priority. Like now I think about it, if I had a little Post-it stuck somewhere that said, do 2 push-ups, every time you pass this Post-it, or do 2 push-ups. Like I have my morning routine on a Post-it, and I pass it all the time and always like, yep, check, made my coffee. Why is that written down? I don't know, because I'm going to do it anyway, but check, made my coffee. I stood outside for 20 minutes, get some sunlight. It helps with your sleep. But I have this checklist and I pass it so much that it's in my mind, even when I don't even realize that I'm reading it. So maybe I'll do that with push-ups. So if you try it, or if you have a list of your why and it's helped keep you motivated and helped you to keep doing, please let me know. All right, I'm going to sign off now. This is Jody Taylor of snackysays.com. Thank you.